All right, what's going on, everyone? So Wave 4 is officially out, and for those of you who don't know, there have been some changes to the game. They have not only added the courses, they've not only added a new character, which is Birdo, who, incidentally, is the same as Yoshi, but they have actually done a lot of rebalancing. And I want to talk about these changes for just a little bit and just kind of tell you what the changes actually are and how I'm anticipating them to affect the meta. Meta meaning like what's the best build, that sort of thing, and then also what I think about the changes as a whole. So let me actually just I have the changes brought up here on Discord, and I want to talk a bit. So let me just like go over what the actual changes are. So the current version of the game is version 2.3.0, and I'm summarizing this from the speedrunning Discord on Discord. So here's kind of a summary of what the changes are. So version 2.3.0 changes. Basically everybody that's not a heavy character got an increase to their speed stat. So Metal Mario, every driver except Metal Mario, Gold Mario, Pink Gold Peach, Waluigi, DK, Roy, Wario, Dry Bowser, Bowser, Morton, and the Large Me has had their ground, water, air, and anti-grav speed increased by a value of 0.25. So that's 0.25 bars of speed. Big change, right? So if you're not a heavyweight character, you got more speed. Now, here's the crazy thing, right? In addition to that, Baby Mario, Baby Luigi, Dry Bones, the Small Me, Toad, Shy Guy, Larry, Peach, Daisy, Yoshi, Mario, Ludwig, Medium Me, Luigi, and Iggy have had their mini turbo stats increased by a value of 0.25 as well. So I want you to pay attention to a couple of things there. So there's no Rosalina, Link, King Boo there. There's no Baby Peach or Baby Daisy there. So that's really important. I want you to pay attention to that because it's gonna kind of matter when I talk about what my thoughts are on these changes. So now that's just the characters. There have been some changes to the vehicle parts as well. So every vehicle except for Pipe Frame, Varmint, City Tripper, Bitty Buggy, Mr. Scooty, Landship, Streetle, Standard Bike, Flame Rider, Wild Wiggler, and the W25 Silver Arrow has had their mini turbo stat increased by a value of 0.25. So basically what they're doing here, oh yeah, and the last thing, every tire except for Rollers, Azure Rollers, Buttons, Leaf tires has had their mini turbo stats increase as well. So to kind of quickly summarize what the changes are, basically anyone who's not a heavyweight has had their speed increased. In addition, a lot of the lighter weight characters, except for Rosalina, King Boo, and Link, and Baby Peach, Baby Daisy, have been given more mini turbo as well. Also, basically a lot of the Wiggler class, the Mr. Scooty class, Pipe Frame, these things have anyone that's not one of those types of vehicles has gotten more mini turbo. And then anyone that's not a roller class or leaf tire class tire has also had their mini turbo increase. And so basically what Nintendo did was they tried to find a way to take parts that were not used as much and just buff them so people would use them more. And I would like to say I don't know how I feel about this. It's kind of a mixed bag. So this is coming from the perspective of somebody who just plays the game for fun, and I really enjoy playing the game. I time trial just because I enjoy getting better at the game. I don't personally care about these changes too much. I'm always going to use whatever the best option is that's not going to destroy my hands. And so if it turns out that the new best combo is Rosalina Teddy Buggy, which is what it seems like it's going to be, I'm just going to use that. I don't care. I'm a tryhard. I play for fun, but I have fun when I win. So that's what I'm trying to do here. And the crazy thing about this, though, is that these changes were also propagated to time trials. So if you were using a Waluigi Bitty Buggy or a Waluigi Wiggler or a Dry Bowser, you basically should just use something else now. So any world records, basically every world record in the game is completely right now. Like, you know, I don't know how else to put it. Any world record that used Baby Peach or Baby Daisy before should just use Baby Mario now. Any world record that used Waluigi Bitty or Waluigi Wiggler should just use like a Rosalina Teddy Buggy. And that's like 90% of the records in the game. I don't know about the really weird sort of niche combos like the one that's used on Rock Mountain, which is like Wario Teddy Buggy, cushion tires, and like Wario Wing. But yeah, basically the entire time trial scene is completely screwed. And so from the perspective of somebody who isn't like a top competitor in either time trials or online, the changes don't really affect me too much. I don't care. That being said, I do find these to be kind of problematic for the scene as a whole. So Army, who is a very high-level time trialer in the game, has a ton of world records, was basically saying, like, I've lost a lot of motivation to play Wave 4. And it might sound like, you know, you might think, oh, why is this guy just, like, crying? Why is your guy crying about some changes to world records? Put yourself in the perspective of somebody like, everybody knows who Alberto is, right? Put yourself in the perspective of somebody like Alberto, who's got, like, a shitload of world records in this game. All of that work that he put into getting those records is just gone, because I guarantee you within a week, unless he actually somehow gets 40 new world records or however many it was, because just think about it, right? Every new record is up for grabs now, because all you have to do is switch to a different build, and if you were already a really high-level player, you've just been given an advantage. So it's like all of that work to be like, I am the best and I have all of this work put into the game and I've put this much time into improving the scene, it just kind of all goes away, right? And I don't think the game is dead or anything like that. Like, there's people that are just like, oh, they completely screwed the game up and the game is so bad now. And it's like, I don't think that's the case. I think the game is going to be just fine. And I think that the competitive scene will thrive and there will be a time trial scene. But I think it's really bad for... first of all, I think it's just it sets a bad precedent, because, like, why would anybody want to spend a ton of time grinding time trials now when when you can just have your record shattered because Nintendo decided to release balance changes? And here's the thing about the balance changes as well. I just don't understand the point. Like, it doesn't affect me because, like I said, I'm just going to use whatever the best build is anyways, but I don't understand the point in this, right? We're not talking about, like, Smash Brothers, where you want to rebalance things to make sure that, you know, certain characters have more of an advantage, or if there's characters that are too strong, you nerf them so that they can sort of be in balance with all the other characters. It's like, in this game, there's no difference. Like, everyone is the same. It's just, okay, they have different stats, right? But they otherwise play exactly the same. And so it just doesn't make sense to me why they would want to have this balance patch, because there's always going to be a best combo. There's always going to be a meta build. If it's not Waluigi Wiggler anymore, it's going to be something else that everybody's going to use. And then everybody's going to be whining in a year and a half about, like, why is everybody using Rosalina Teddy Buggy? God, I see this build everywhere. And it's like, yeah, because people want to win and they're going to use whatever the best build is. You know, so from that perspective, I feel like it's a silly thing to do. There's no real upside, because if you're just worried about Waluigi Wiggler, well, you're going to be worried about another build in a year and a half anyways, like I just said. And there's only downside, because now, like I said, there's a lot of people there's a lot of high-level players that are just like, F it, like, I don't even really, like, want to play Wave 4 anymore. I don't want to play until I know they're done f***ing with the game, so that I can actually sit here and grind something out, right? So, anyways, that's all I really wanted to say about this. Those are kind of my thoughts. I guess as a whole, I'm not personally tripping too much about it, but I do think it's kind of sucks for the people that have put a lot of time into the time trial specifically, because it's like all that hard work is just kind of gone. But you know, if you hear anybody that says that the game is dead, like, that's just, they're being kind of silly in my opinion. I think the game is going to be just fine. It's still going to be fun. It's still going to be enjoyable. And out of all the things that I have to whine about in Wave 4, that's sort of the least of it. And you guys are going to hear all about that when I get in my track ranking video, but that's going to be something that we talk about probably in a couple days. So hope you're looking forward to that. And I will see you all in the next video.